Byron, how are you, man?
I'm good. I'm very good.
So, Executive Protection Lifestyle Group, it's been growing like crazy.
Yes.
And it's kept you very busy on top of your already busy schedule that you have.
Yes.
So, the symposium. What made you want to do an executive protection symposium?
So really, the symposium idea is something that I want to get information out, and I want to get it out to the largest volume of people as frequently as possible. So with the symposium, I didn't really want to. I could have had like a training. I could have had like a class of like a handful of folks, and that wasn't really what I was looking for. And then also with the executive protection industry the way it is, I want to get this information out. I want the information to be good for protectors. That means executive protection agents as well as first responders, as well as civilians. And so kind of the positioning of the symposium is that these are going to be skills that people are going to learn that are going to make them better protectors, no matter what their walk of life. Because the one thing that binds us all together is the fact that we all have the need and requirement for protection. Mm-hmm. And so that's kind of like, I don't know, I use it as kind of a platform to unify all of us in this one endeavor of protection.
So you have like a star-studded lineup here. And I want to go into each one of them individually, but what made you choose the three individuals that you chose for the symposium?
Okay, so I've gotten some training from, I've been around with these guys, I've worked with these guys, I've trained with these guys, and for me, Yosef Badou, I feel like he doesn't get, so I'll put it this way, every security detail I've been on, I've wished that everyone on that detail had taken a course from Yosef and has understood the pre-threat indicator game. You won't see the world the same way as you did before after learning from Yosef. The whole left of bang, all that doctrine, the hunter-killer stuff. It turns you into a better protector.
We'll start with Yosef. You're the one who introduced me to him, and I took his course with you. And I mean, for me personally, I get exposed to a lot of different trainings. That is by far, and I tell people all the time, that last year was the best money I spent on training as far as a skill set. You always hear from guys like, yeah, come to this, come to that. And it's like, man, I could be teaching you how to do this. Not to sound cocky, but usually the instruction core there isn't as experienced, or maybe they don't have that real world experience. Yeah. What I took away from him was a skill set that just was like, oh, I've never even been exposed to this. I think I have been, but I really haven't been. And what's kind of your history with him, and how did the relationship start? How did you come to introducing him into this symposium?
Yeah, I mean, the Marine Corps, our hunter-killer program, we sent guys off to that. I didn't take that in the Marine Corps, but my seniors did, and that doctrine is like what we lived by. Those principles helped us survive in Iraq for 2 deployments. So I've seen the proof be in the pudding, and it's like understanding proxemics and understanding nervous behavior and looking for clusters of behavior and understanding context of behavior that give you they give you an edge in terms of being a protector, in terms of when you have to be a combatant, all this stuff. I saw the other day at a venue, there was it's no secret I work for churches and faith-based organizations, right? So I'm at this faith-based organization. I see one person is talking to someone who was like a bolo at one point in time for us on that security detail. The bolo is getting excited, and I'm looking at this patron of this organization, and they're just like, no, man, it's cool. I'm like, do you need help? And he's like, no, it's fine. And I'm watching this guy's body language, and I'm like, this other guy's about to punch him in the face, and he has no idea what's about to happen to him, because his frame of reference is his real world experience doesn't give him any kind of experiential indicators that you're in danger right now. Mm-hmm. And so, and then also when you are profiling profiling is controversial, but it's, I believe, an integral piece of being a good protector. You have to be able to know who to look at. You have to be able to flush your biases, and you have to be able to, which everyone has them, they come from your human experience. You have different traumas that can make you look at the world a certain way, but you need to be able to flush those and understand that relative to this venue, relative to today, relative to the world right now, who is most dangerous and what do those people look like, and understanding the ology behind that is going to make, if there's one skill set I could teach my daughter, my wife, someone who's not going to pick up a gun, all the way up to the most lethal human beings we're training right now, it's being able to profile and recognize the dangerous people in a crowd and the dangerous people at a venue, and separate them from the non-dangerous people. Because that's where the fight begins. The sooner you can recognize those people, the sooner you can get ready for battle and end a battle before it starts, or take the fight to the people who need the fight taken to them. So man.
He's. I've never taken more notes in a training in my life than I took in his. I was on my iPad just typing away. So moving on to Ed. I don't know much about him other than from your podcast personally, and that's probably a lot of people's experience, maybe, or maybe not. But then again, I saw him recently on the Joe Rogan podcast. I think he was on that right after your podcast, which was great. But, what do you expect people to take away from him?
Ed Calderon, 10 years dealing with the cartel down there in Mexico. Just the podcast I had with him blew my mind. In a world that has turned very digital, and, I think that a lot of people, if you haven't dealt with the pure evil that Ed has, it's very hard to understand what you look like as prey. It's very hard to understand how they're looking at you, how they're assessing you, what types of things are going to make you a sweet target, a soft target, what types of things make you more attractive to them. And then, if you are targeted and they do decide to do something to you, what do you do? How do you deal with, how do you escape restraints? How do you, when is the best time to try to escape a kidnap situation? Are you really the type of demographic that they're going after? What types of things can cause you to, for example, people are, I'm going to Cancun, I'm taking selfies, what does that mean really with regards to where does that put you on the spectrum of a target to those predators? So I think understanding a lot of that type of information is what a lot of people are going to get. Since this is going to be a symposium style thing, we're not going to do a lot of hands-on stuff. So we're not going to get into the old, in his training where, you get blindfolded and you actually get put through a civilian sear, kind of a civilian escape situation, the military training, the sear course that we have. But his stuff is hands-on, it's rough. You're going to have butterflies if you ever go to one of his hands-on courses. But this is just designed for the civilian population to understand what types of things the enemy is looking for when it comes to making you a more palatable target, and then also to help us protectors understand all the dynamics around protecting our clients, aka protecting our family, and for law enforcement keeping the public safe. Because also human trafficking is becoming an epidemic. With choosing and selecting these speakers, to me, I'm what kind of information can... So I'm a 250-pound black guy. I am kind of up at the upper 80% of human beings, walking around in my environment. I don't really have to be afraid of anyone. But what I really wanted to do, there's always a bigger, badder guy, yeah. But for me, the physical components of protection are less of a concern. What I wanted to do with the symposium was arm people with the type of information and intelligence and software that's going to make them more dangerous. I want my daughter, a girl, a mom, a grandma to watch this thing and learn from it and become more intelligent and dangerous. Through intelligence, become more dangerous. I want Navy SEAL to be able to go this thing, look at the world differently, and become more dangerous. So this is me and you could go to an awesome course and just crush it because the physical requirements and components. But what this is going to do is make good people smarter and give them the programs to run, the software in their minds to make them just that prey that has antlers, that prey, that has a gun and knows how to use it.
And Ed's definitely one of those guys. I'm so excited to see him. He's somebody I haven't really been exposed to yet, and I hope to get to one of his courses soon. So that brings us to my boy Mike Pannone. Now, I know why you chose Mike Pannone for this. Because it was my idea. No.
Because it was mine. It kind of was.
I have a lot of experience with Mike. I've worked with Mike a lot. I've spent a lot of time with Mike. And Mike has these isms.
Oh, yeah.
He has these, I call them noner-isms. And, or little sparky moments, little sparks I call them sometimes. But, what are you hoping for guys to take home from Mike? Because it's like, he's talking about a topic and a subject. Oh, but wait, we're not going to be shooting. And as you know, and I know, that's not necessarily always what it's all about. And you've heard Mike's kind of theories on this in his talks on concealed carry. But give us kind of a history of you and Mike, and then why you chose Mike to come be a part of this, because most of this is soft skills, and Mike's taking a hard skill but making it a soft skill at the same time. So
yeah, I mean, he's gonna come in and he's gonna talk about like the intelligence that he has that makes him his ability to exercise that soft skill, that gives him the ability to exercise it at a higher level. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, to start at the beginning, it's like, man, the first time I met Mike was when we were gonna go to the range, and you were like, oh, like he hit you up or you hit him up, and I was like, oh, he's gonna come down and just like hang with us and like kick.
Yeah, he was at the airport, and he's like, where are you? We're here. How far is that from me? I don't know, 30 minutes. I'll see you in 20. I was like, what?
Okay.
And he showed up.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, cool. Like, I've heard, Luke talk about this dude before. Like, he's a cool dude. So we get there, and then, of course, he can't help but, like, help us speed things up. So he's just like, we're going to do these drills, and, like, we got, like, a little hip pocket, like, level up on the range with him. And then we sat there and talked about just, like, real grunt man stuff. The types of conversations you can't have with everybody, because it's just, I mean, his pedigree and his knowledge and his wisdom is like, we just sat there and time just vaporized. And it was like, yo, it's been like, I think we were there for hours.
Yeah, we were like, hours. It's dark
the
out.
The sun was going down, and we were just like,
and of course, the guys at the range, they all know Mike, and one of the guys was in Mike's squadron, so they're just like, yeah, you're good.
Exactly.
We're like, it's dark, bro.
Yeah, like
we need a lantern.
like don't we have a detail to go to? But yeah, so that was like, I was like, wow, like what a down to earth, a wealth of knowledge, wisdom, even more so than just knowledge, but wisdom, life experience. And from then on, man, like I would just try to get around him every time I can, every chance I can, learn from him every time I can, every chance I can. And the reason that I kind of put him in the lineup this way was because, CCWs, people are starting to get more and more CCWs. People are starting to see the requirement for good people to be able to defend themselves. These body counts that they're having, I mean, a country like Israel has terrorist attacks frequently. And the body count's 1, 2, and then everyone shoots the guy. Like active shooter, active killer scenario. It's like that public is armed and they're efficient at dealing with active human threats. And that is my goal, is to make good people more dangerous with this thing. But I want people, good people, to be able to bring that on-scene instant accountability to evil when it rears its head. And Mike has, not only does he currently operate with a firearm at some of the highest levels, and currently all the trainers train, some of the world's top, most elite forces. But like Mike is also currently training, the guys that are kicking indoors while we're here making this video. And he's competing at high levels in the shooting competition world. He's currently being sponsored by, CZ and these, companies that they have their, they're not going to just sponsor anyone. So he's, not only was he a warrior, his lineage is, recon, Green Berets, Delta Force, all these different things, building the first PSD programs for Triple Canopy. Like that pedigree is amazing. to be able to have someone who's from that, who's still operating at a high level, to come and teach the ology, like, okay, cool, like, cool. I'm a pretty good sized dude, I can fight, you know, but like, then if you equip me with the tools, you send me off to like an MMA camp, like, you equip me with the knowledge and the information, now I'm 100 times more dangerous, you know? So to have a guy who brings all of that and is still currently doing this, to come in and talk to people about something like CCW, which is like, too many people. Okay, what gun should I carry? Rob, you should have enough training to be able to effectively employ any handgun you pick up. You know what I mean? Like, what gun should I carry? That's a matter. You need to date a few guns, and you honestly, by the time you get done training, this shouldn't even really be a question of yours. You should have enough trigger time to really know what you like, what you don't like, have courted enough different platforms to really know that. You know, and if you're asking me this, in my opinion, I love you, I'm here to help you, but you probably aren't ready to carry a pistol on a daily basis, because by the time you start carrying a pistol in CCW format, you should know what you like and don't like, because the training that you should have gone through in order to get to that point should have equipped you with that. So like, to have Mike with that pedigree and who's currently still getting after it and doing it on the highest levels, come and impart the wisdom, the ology, like, yeah, you can carry a gun, yeah, you've been to a few trainings, but do you really understand, you know, the knowledge, you know, the inner workings that make him who he is? You won't understand it one day. The good thing is you'll get exposure to this information that can upgrade your paradigm, upgrade your perspective, upgrade the software you're using to run that program that you're gonna fight with when you put your freaking pistol on every single day. To me, that was a grand slam. So we have these components. We have the profiling, we have the pre-threat indicators, we have the intelligence that's going to go into, hey, check that dude out, like, let's go on ahead and let's interview this guy, let's take a look, you know, through to, hey, how am I operating my life? How am I making myself not attractive to the wrong people? And what do I do if I do start seeing target indicators that these types of people are paying attention to me? What do I do if they attempt to take me, my daughter, or anything like that? And then boom, into what do I do if I am armed in an active human threat scenario? And or also, how do I operate on a daily basis, you know, carrying around one of these? You know what I mean? Like, what is this really about? You know, just because I got a gun doesn't mean I'm going to win the fight. And so there's trained people and there's untrained people, you know, and us trained people see the world a certain way, whereas the untrained people, they don't know what they don't know, and that's what makes us trained people so dangerous.
And that's pretty much your mission of the symposium, then, it sounds like.
Absolutely, man. Like, I want there to be a healthy fear in a criminal or in someone who's getting ready to try to play this new first-person shooter game. I want there to be a healthy fear of them, in them, when they get ready to do something like this. And for me, the ultimate payoff, the priceless thing, is if and when someone does find themselves in a life and death situation and they say, the information that I got from, you know, the Executive Protection Lifestyle podcast, from the Protector Nation podcast, from the symposium, that information helped me understand what I needed to do to survive, and therefore myself and XYZ are still alive because I was a little bit smarter, a little bit more on the ball, a little bit more dangerous. That's like what I'm going for here. And to put out information that's potent enough and important enough to make people, good people, more dangerous no matter what their walk is, all the way from the security professional to the first responder to the, you know, volunteer security person to the civilian. I think that's really my goal here.
One of the things I'm really excited about at the symposium that I think has been downplayed a little bit because it's not the cool, but for me, I'm really excited about, there's going to be a question and answer time with the guys, and that's sometimes where I get some of my best knowledge, you know. Now, yes, and I hope we can sort of file through, you know, the you know, grasshoppers have machine guns questions.
Grasshoppers have machine guns?
Guys out there,
Someone will answer that.
What that is, we'll answer why. What to do if grasshoppers have machine guns. If you don't know what we're talking about, ask me at the symposium.
Right.
But and hopefully I can weed through some of that. But I'm really looking forward to just kind of, sort of playing host to it and just giving it out to you guys, to the three speakers and you. But for me, that seems to be really a place where guys can, if they have a specific thing, I'm really interested to hear, a question answered by Mike Pannone and Ed. You know what I mean? On one topic, on one subject, it might be, or like an issue that they're maybe having, or a question like I'm traveling overseas and I can't carry a gun. Well, what do I do? What are things I look out for? I can't wait to hear, an experience from a guy like Ed, for example, and then also, Mike's take on something like that as well. So, but when is that going to be? And how do you foresee that kind of thing going through and happening?
Yeah, man. The panel will be on the last day. It'll be one of the last things we do. That's going to give everyone enough time to listen to the speakers, absorb that information, really understand. The speaker's probably going to answer a few questions that they have, and then there's going to be that one, I need to know this, and we're going to have a good amount of time to do that and to get through those questions and have those discussions. But it's going to be the last day, and I'm looking forward to that as well, man, because it's an opportunity for us also to know what types of questions the demographic we all aim to serve are going to have. And for me, as a content creator, and I know the other two guys are all about making content too, this gives me ideas to be like, hey, you know what? Let me build something on that. Let me build some content. Let me make a video about that. Let me give a good explanation, robust explanation for that if I don't get through all of it at the symposium, even if I do. So I'm excited for that too, man. And the thing is, a lot of the answers, I know people are looking for these really sexy answers to things. Sometimes the answers are right in front of you. But, when you hear someone who lives that life and has that background and experience give you the answer that you already were kind of thinking, it's way more valuable now. It's gospel. It's been validated, So I think, that's another really good. So there's no stupid questions. Ask your question. There are kind of actually stupid questions, but ask your question.
There's definitely stupid questions.
Right. And it's going to be good, man. And then, too, with the symposium, man, I try to build it out so it's robust, at least two of the speakers, I know Yosef and Ed are both going to give certificates for the information they're going to cover. So for the working professional security operator, hey, this is great, but how can this help my professional career? So a few different answers to that. You're going to get certificates, at least two certificates for the course that you're going to take. You're also going to get time to network. There's going to be.
I was going to get into that next. My second favorite thing that I'm looking forward to the most, and something that I think goes, gets played down quite a bit in that industry is the networking.
Yeah.
And to be able to sit in a room with a bunch of guys that are all in the same field, that all have, kind of that same professional, it's how they make their career, how they make their money. To be able to sit down and become friends with other people and meet other people, I think is going to be huge. Plus all the AS Solutions stuff that they're offering up and whatnot. Go ahead and tell us a bit more about that. I heard Aaron was hooking it up a little bit there.
Yeah, what's his EP Actual has been running around doing some things in the game, man.
What is EP Actual?
That's Aaron Malden. Aaron Malden is EP Actual.
Oh man.
Anyway, but yeah, man.
Wow.
So EP Actual himself. But yeah, man. So let's
call a spade a spade. What is Christian West?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Good.
Really
thank you,
great.
Christian.
Yes, thank you, Christian. That partnership's awesome, man. So again, for this private security professional, guys looking to get into the industry, guys that are in the industry, man, your sphere of influence is that whole, your network is your net worth. I have never found an industry where it's more true than the private security industry. Maybe because I've only been in the private security industry, but the point is, you will eat based on your relationships in this game. And at the symposium, you're going to have a number of different boutique companies that are local to Orange County, California period, that are going to be there. Their CEOs and admin are going to be there. They're going to be, some of them are going to be taking names and taking CVs and resumes, and they're going to be looking to see what kind of talent's out there in the crowd. So this is your chance. I get literally hundreds of messages per month about how can I get into EP, and why isn't anyone giving me calls back and things like that.
We made a podcast about this.
We did make a podcast about this.
Like, it was made. It was done.
It's but this is a good place to come and find those questions. You can ask. You can literally ask like, hey, is there something wrong with this or me that makes me, anyways. So the networking on that during the actual event is going to be awesome. We're going to have a lot of law enforcement guys there from different departments. We're going to have, really, it's the Protector Nation that I'm trying to bring together. Everyone interested in this thing. You never know when you're going to see any of these people out in life. So that aspect is also going to be good. AS Solutions is kicking down 2 books to every single person that buys a ticket. So Public Figures, Private Lives, and their Corporate Executive Protection book. So for the private security professional, those are also big. I talked with Elijah Shaw last night, so I believe he might have some things going on there with us. That's big. He's got some awesome stuff. His book is awesome. We're gonna have in-ear the surveillance kits that they have, those Stealth 360.
Those things are so amazing.
Best surveillance kits in the game.
Literally the best money I've ever spent. Recently did a large event with you and used it for the first time, and I was like looking at you the whole time like, this is awesome. This is so cool.
Because you don't even know you don't even know you have a surveillance kit until someone starts talking to you. I know it sounds ridiculous, but that's how comfortable it is. You gotta try it. So in-ear is gonna kick down a few kits to auction off to us.
Okay.
Everyone gets entered into that raffle. They've also given us a promotional code that will be showing up on the screen during this deal right here, somewhere on the screen. I believe I'm not going to guess, but they're giving us a promotional code that's going to be running until the event. So use that code, 10% off for that code, user code, get in on the Stealth 360 with in-ear. It's the best surveillance kit in the game, period. That's going to happen. There are more things happening, but with just your ticket, you're gonna get, over, close to $100 worth of gear. Just like right out the gate. So the value's there, the networking is there. Us being brought around a specific value of protection is there. And that, my goal to make it a really robust, to give as much value as possible. I feel really good about the way we're going when it comes to meeting that goal.
I'm excited for it, man. It sounds like it's going to be an amazing opportunity, especially for the seasoned practitioner, but also the new guy. Don't show up in your flip-flops and shorts. Only I can show up in flip-flops and shorts. No, I'm not showing up in flip-flops and shorts.
I actually will be wearing a suit.
Oh, okay.
I actually will be wearing it. I wasn't going to wear a suit. I was
well,
not
you know what?
going to wear a suit.
For you and I, we're sort of settled. We're very lucky to have, the jobs that we currently have right now. But for the person coming out there, you always say it, put your best foot forward. And that's something I've really learned from you. I don't normally look like this every day at work. It's my day off.
Yeah.
But,
Always.
you got to come correct.
And not everyone has to do that, but it depends on what you're looking for, I'm going to be wearing a suit because Gray Man, I'm getting my next Gray Man suit. And that is going to be exciting. And I believe my Gray Man code is still up. So Byron, 10% off with Gray Man. I'll be rocking one of their new shark skin suits. Excited about that.
If you wear Gray Man, I'm gonna wear my Gray Man.
Right?
It is because I love it so much.
And it's just it's actually a comfortable suit.
I look for an excuse to wear it.
Exactly.
I think I'm gonna suit up, and my boss is like, "We're not wearing suits to this." I'm like, but just.
It's like the first actual functional, good-looking work suit that I have. My other suits that look amazing, it's like wearing a suit. Like I'm just trapped in it, you know.
It's the first suit I had a client ask me where I got my suit from. They're like, wow, that looks really good on you.
Yeah.
I was like,
and yours does look really good on you.
Yeah.
I love the sides too. So yeah, man, Rayman's is gonna take care of us too, man. So they're in on it. A lot of support from the industry and from good folks to make this thing really be what I believe it could be. And I think it's such an amazing time for it. We have these violent incidents happening more and more, and the civilian response, I believe, needs to be more and more efficient, effective, and potent. And honestly, being able to do my part to try to make that civilian perspective, that civilian response better is like, for me, it's a righteous cause. It's like, it's a good reason to get out of bed in the morning. Like, that's what I'm all about, man. What is the Protector Symposium? Here's another question. Do you know how to protect yourselves, your clients, and your loved ones? My name is Byron Rodgers, and I've launched a number of different brands designed to help bring more accountability to the world and make the world a better place by making good people more dangerous. So I want to invite you to join me for something special. The Protector Symposium is a live event where protectors from every walk of life get together to learn the arts of protection, to become better protectors. I've chosen professionals that I really respect as protectors, people who I've personally spent my own money to learn from. First, we have Yosef Badou. He's been teaching the hunter-killer program to the Marine Corps in various different government agencies for over a decade now. I'm overjoyed and honored to have him. He's going to be teaching essentially how to avoid combat, how to avoid dangerous situations, how to read people, places, things, and crowds in order to see the heat that's coming around the corner, so to speak, in order to understand how to stay out of harm's way. Secondarily, we have Ed Calderon, and he's been in the protection game for well over a decade, working in some places you probably have never been, south of the border in Mexico, working against the crime families and cartels there. Because of his experience south of the border with the kidnapping epidemic, Ed Calderon has quickly become one of the world's most foremost experts on issues of counter-custody operations and anti-kidnapping tactics. He now uses his background with Mexican law enforcement and the things he experienced there in order to teach counter-custody tactics to law enforcement agencies and militaries around the world. His first-hand understandings of cartel activity, philosophies, principles, and tactics has given him insight into a whole nother world that we all can benefit from understanding a little bit more. We look forward to learning from Ed Calderon many different techniques and tactics that can help us keep the things and people we love safer more often. Mike Pannone has lived the life of a warrior at the highest order for decades now, starting off in Marine Corps reconnaissance, then moving into the Army's Green Beret program. From there, he went into Delta Force. After that, he went overseas and built programs for some of the world's top contracting companies. Mike Pannone has been in many different theaters over the course of his lifetime of combat achievements. He's going to come and train us and speak to us on covert carry operations, CCW tactics and techniques, ways that you and I can become better at carrying our weapons and employing them in the face of evil, which is even more relevant as we move into a time in American culture where there are more and more active human threat, active shooter, active killer scenarios taking place on a weekly and even monthly basis. Where else can you come and learn from these elites all in one place? So what are you gonna get as a result of the purchasing of your tickets and your attendance to the Protector Symposium? You're going to get a bunch of AS Solutions swag. Thanks, shout out to AS Solutions. But they're also going to include 2 of their flagship books, one of those being Public Figures and Private Lives. You're also going to get entered to win a raffle with in-ear, and if you know about their stuff, you know they've got nasty, like awesome surveillance kits, so that's going to be awesome. You're going to get a bunch of EPL and Protector Nation swag, and then I did this for the working professionals. You're going to get a certificate, you're going to get certifications for the information that the presenters, that at least 2 of the presenters are going to be presenting at the venue. We're going to study how to make good people more dangerous, to make the world a better place by increasing the accountability on scene when evil decides to strike. One mind, many weapons, protector by nature and by trade. Byron.